Brendan Schaub fired a superfan that he had hired named George, and then after Backlash, kind of rehired him, but not really. And he's going to have him work from home or something. He did it after facing Backlash, and the story got out because of Mark Harley. But Brendan Schaub went on to Fighter and a Kid, and I guess explained why you fired him. I haven't listened to this, but I'm going to assume he's going to lie and say he wasn't really fired. But I'm going to play this and give you my thoughts on it. Let's see what Brendan Schaub had to say.
I'm depressed. Are you okay? I'm not depressed, but obviously I'm a little sad. Why are you a little sad? You guys want to discuss it now?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about George.
Yeah.
Let's talk about George for a sec, guys. So there's been a lot of misinformation. George did not get fired.
No.
George was asked, you need somebody with more experience in right now as Thick Boy's expanding into different areas.
Yeah, we need full producer.
Not a 22-year-old.
No.
Right. And so everybody loves George. So what I think you did was offered him a different Lex, who runs the company.
Lex runs CFO.
Offered him something else.
Correct.
You are not a good person for that job to go and even talk to George because you're very attached to George emotionally. I'm going to speak for Brendan for a second, guys. You're very attached to him.
Love George.
You're terrible at any kind of repositioning, firing, or anything. You're the worst. You're the fucking worst. And so we know this about you, so we have other people that actually run the mechanics and day-to-day operation of Thick Boy. Yes? Okay. I'm just speaking, and you tell me when I'm wrong. So George is somebody all of us here care about, and right now, I think you guys offered George something else within the company.
Else where he doesn't have to, because now he's killed himself coming in every day.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to do that.
Role. His thing was, it's not that he doesn't want to be here, but he has other opportunities, which I also helped him facilitate.
Right? Yeah.
But he has two good ones, which I helped him facilitate. So I understand. If those don't work out, he can come back here. You know that it's always open. I love George. I talked to George probably more than anybody in here besides you.
Yeah, and I talk to him too, and we're gonna.
I talk to him every day.
If I can help him game plan, I said.
No, dude, this is what people get. You know how far Georgie has. This is my conversation with today. Me and him talked in person. You know how far Georgie has come. You gotta think about it. I met George when he was 450 pounds on King and the Sting. He sent in a submission because my goal is to get down to 190. You blah blah blah. I'm a thick boy. I said, Georgie, you get down to 190, I'll fly you here live in studio. Year later, calls in, he's 190. I fly him in. He's such a good. If you ever meet George, can't help but love the kid. Fly him in here. I love him. I go, dude, come to San Antonio with me. Ever stayed in a nice hotel? Never. Cool. It's the first time on a plane too. Fly him to San Antonio. Put him up at our favorite hotel, Hotel Emma. Give him the presidential suite. He's living like a king. Bring him on stage. And then I was like, can't stop here, dude. I'll find a job for you.
That's you. That's you.
That's me.
That's you. You know, yeah, that's you.
But so he went from zero skills to he can edit now.
Yep.
He can cut clips. He can do social media.
But here's the problem with you. Here's the problem with you. You get emotionally attached to everybody.
Correct. I shouldn't be running a business.
And I also
don't hire.
And I think that is a liability for you.
Yes.
Because sometimes you got,
I'm a bad reader.
Well, it's not that you're a bad reader, dude. You're just very optimistic.
We're not talking about books.
Some jobs, if you're running a company, you are going to need a 30-year-old person who has a lot of experience to run shit, and you have to be a
background checks.
But you also have to be the kind of guy that is like people that run a business are way more ruthless than you.
And I'm not.
They go, it's not working. You got to get out of here.
Yeah,
that's the way.
I'm not like that.
Not like that. Not like that. Well, let me just tell you about Brendan, just so people know. The number of people that we've had who we all love, and they were all great, but there were things sometimes where this person, I'm not talking about George in this case, I'm talking about in the 12 years we've been here, I think we've had probably 8 or 9 real discussions about you calling me and saying, I don't know what to do with this person, they're not doing their job, and it's driving me crazy because I'm paying them a fortune
I was
a fucking fortune, and I would be like, okay, and then what would we always say? You finish my sentence.
You would go, yeah, but you're not going to do anything.
No, I'd say, and you know what we're going to do about this?
Absolutely nothing.
You'd say absolutely nothing, because
We'd leave them on board for another year at least,
right?
Until it gets so toxic, or they leave or something.
Whatever the case, and that's not the way to run a business, right?
Sir.
And so we have a 22-year-old who we all care about, who we want to win, and he will win, and I'll do what I can, to help him gain.
But Georgie has a great resume now. His skills.
And he's also a great kid.
And also, when he came in today to tell me.
And did a great job here, by the way.
Of course.
Let's put that on record.
But he came in today, me and him talked in person, just to tell me, like, if it's going to be a part-time thing, like, I'd rather just go somewhere full-time. I get that, dude. I get that.
Yeah.
Love Georgie.
Well, that's a win. That's the goal. To go from here
and it's hard, he's 22. This is his first job, really.
Yeah.
He's coming straight out 22 from his background, so it's like he's just getting more experience. That's all it is.
Well, I mean, I told him when I talked to him, I said, this is good. It's that Jocko Willick thing. Good. Now,
easier said than done. But
okay, so pretty much everything said there was a complete and total lie. How do we know? We have the text from his mom in which his mom said to Mark Harley, the lawyer fired him and he doesn't even have a way to get home. But even in their explanation, didn't even make sense with their lies they were trying to spin. So they never fired him. They were just going to reposition him. But he has 2 opportunities other places, so they didn't fire him because he's got opportunities somewhere else? That didn't even make sense. They can't even get that right. But, I mean, taking everything that they two just said, they still fired him because they cut him down to part-time, which means Zoom in from home and we'll pay you $20 a week. And he says, well, that's not really a job. So, okay, well, you're fired anyway. That's ultimately, so that dude, George, is done, ultimately, because part-time, what does that mean? That means after the backlash, you offered him to work from home, and you'd pay him essentially nothing after you already fired him. So that's what really happened there. If I was Schaub, just be honest. That's the problem. Just say, hey, my career's over. My business is a complete and utter failure. I can't afford to pay this guy. I mean, that is the truth. That's the reality of the situation. When businesses fail, people have to get fired. Just say, I find it odd you had to fire the person making the least amount of money. But if Schaub just came out and was honest and said, obviously you can tell the views are insanely down. My career is over. I can't sell tickets. I can hardly afford to do this. I'm paying money to do this. I can't afford to pay that dude. Then I'd be like, I get it. Whatever. That's how businesses work. But the fact that it always has to be lies. Everything out of this guy's mouth. And then Calling having to defend him. It's just pathetic. We all know what happened here. They're acting as if we didn't see the text messages between Mark Harley and George's mom. Hell, we only know about this because of Mark Harley. If Mark Harley never dropped those text messages, we would have never known about this. So Mark Harley was telling the truth because Brendan Schaub really did fire him. So, I mean, completely pathetic on Schaub's part. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.